Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works in November 2024. No, it's not really November, it's April Fool's Day 2025, and I'm really not trying to fool everybody. But I thought it would be interesting to provide an update on our 1954 17-foot Century Resorter that sort of begins at the beginning, gives you this snapshot of the sort of partway through and where she is today. So this resorter arrived at the shop in November of 2024. By late January of 2025, here she is. What I'd like to do now is sort of jump way back, take a look at the beginning, and follow her through my walk around that day, at least a portion thereof, and then switch to April Fool's Day 2025. You're going to tell me, oh, come on. It can't be. Well, it is, and she is. And she's becoming closer and closer to deserving the moniker elegant. So let's jump over and see where she is today. Greetings from Snake Mountain Boat Works on Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. Yes, it's April Fool's Day, but this is not about April Fools. This is about a major milestone for Rick and Joe in our 1954 17-foot Century Resorter. As you can see, the hull sides are fully installed. We've got a fair amount of work left on them, but at least we've got them all up and on and bent. And I'll first ask Joe, what are you doing, Joe?
Yeah, so right now I'm using one of my favorite products. It's the Fixo Flex. And anything that has a small gap, small crack, anything like that, that's going to be going into your bright work, I always pave it in. And then I'll take and I got one round of flat sanding done on it right now. But once this dries, I'll be able to go through and finish sanding it back in. Because what happens is when you get stain on top of this, on top of all your ambered varnish, it makes it look like wood grain again. So if you get any split or crack, pave it with this stuff, and really it's a lifesaver. I mean, it gets really nice honey colored, depending on what stain and varnish you use, but with the Lake Oswego gelled stain on top with the Pettit varnish we use, I mean, really turns out great.
And that's the total boat product we get from Jamestown Distributors, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And Rick, I know you've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like these bends are very extreme, but
They're very, very extreme.
why don't you give us an idea of...
I mean, it was extreme enough when you went to make your bends. I mean, these upper two weren't too bad, but once you got down to these right here, it bends one way and it bends another. So...
Oh, it both
Yeah.
torques and,
Yeah.
twists and bends flat.
Yeah, and I mocked all these up to fit in, but you still have a certain amount of bend to it, no matter
That's right.
how well you do it. And I mean, you had to take places where you would use washers to hold it really
Till,
tight till it was done and dry, and then you could take them back out again.
Yeah, all of these planks on the sides are bedded in Fixo Flex, aren't they? Oh, no,
No, it's the Sikaflex.
Sikaflex
Yeah.
291 LOT.
And it binds. I mean, once you have them on there overnight, it's hard. You're not gonna get them off.
Well, no, the point of using that is if you ever needed to remove them,
Oh, you can.
it's still easier to remove it than with, say, 5200. You get 5200 on there, you're taking it off with a Sawzall.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not gonna just pop off.
Right.
Even though you got a lot
Right.
of torque, it's not going anywhere.
So the next step after you've got her all flat sanded is to
Plug it.
plug it.
A lot of plugs.
A lot of plugs, and we make our own plugs. For a couple of years, we used commercially manufactured plugs, and they weren't consistent in color or grain or even diameter. So we use a plug cutter and that great big drill press you see across the room over there. And it works just beautifully. We use the same wood that we've used for planking. What we do is save all the scraps and cut our plugs out of those scraps.
Yeah, and you want to make sure when you're looking at your plugs, make sure you got your grain all lined up nice.
That's right.
You'll see it if you don't.
Yeah, if you put plugs in with the grain askew, I guarantee you can see it from 10 feet away once you've varnished it all. They just blast out at you saying, look at me, look at me. So we will now begin cutting plugs and inserting plugs, and then of course we will be sealing it with clear penetrating epoxy sealer. And excuse me,
Yeah, we got
it's April Fool's Day. That was an April Fool's joke. We will be staining it with Mike Mayer's post-war Chris gel stain, and then we will be sealing it with the Cold Formula Smith's CPES. So I'll let these guys keep having way too much fun. It's just amazing the transformation of this boat over the last few months. If you look at the playlist, I'll give you the link to it in the write-up. You'll see that there's quite a metamorphosis that's happened in this corner of our shop. So, with that, we'll end this update on our 1954 17-foot Century Resorter. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now from Snake Mountain Boat Works.